For a couple of years now, Americans have experienced a new stress when shopping: empty shelves. We've become accustomed to hearing that supply chain issues mean choices have been diminished and prices have now skyrocketed. From the basic household supplies like toilet paper to semiconductor chips for everything from phones to cars. And again, we want to look forward here at solutions. So what can be done right now to repair the supply chain and restore confidence that consumers will find what they need? Mr. Mancharamani, to you first.
Certainly. Thank you for the question. Supply chain disruptions are a major problem. They, in fact, are causing lots of problems, not just empty shelves. They're causing higher prices. They're causing disruptions in the availability of goods and services that compound throughout our entire society. We know that, for instance, the shortage of semiconductor chips has actually caused disruptions in the production of auto vehicles and other manufactured goods that these chips go into. So this is a big problem. Step one. We need to reduce our dependence on China. China is a strategic threat to our way of life. They have a set of values that differs from the American set of values, and therefore we should not be dependent upon them at all, whether it's for semiconductor chips, whether it's for active pharmaceutical ingredients, whether it's for rare earth materials, or anything. We need to develop resilience here at home. In fact, my parents were immigrants from India, and one of the things my dad said was, I left a country that had empty shelves. I'm disappointed to be in a country where we have empty shelves.
Mr. Smith, same question.
Yeah, well, again, a lot of our supply chain issue is because of the money, the printed money that flooded the markets, in which there was more demand than what companies could keep up with. But a lot of this goes back to not being energy independent either, because that drives a lot of the costs and the supply chain issues as well. I've put forward a comprehensive energy independence plan. Number one, because we were energy independent just a year and a half ago, and we're not anymore. But number one, we need an all of the above approach to energy. I would say we should be looking at nuclear energy as well. Let's restart the Keystone Pipeline. Let's take the suspensions off of publicly leased land. Let's open up all of the permits, not just a third of them. We can't make the transition overnight to green energy, which is exactly what Joe Biden and Maggie Hassan are trying to do right now. That's why we have high gas prices as well. And they don't have an answer for it because they want to give up on fossil fuels altogether. And that is the wrong approach. We need to be energy independent in order to bring down inflation and help with those supply chain issues.
Mr. Fenton, how do we fix the supply chain?
Well, the best thing the government can do is get out of the way and, more importantly, recognize the grave errors that we made with the failed COVID policies. We locked down most of our country. We locked down millions of people and businesses, and actions have consequences. This was an unprecedented action done by government officials, and it had unprecedented second-order effects that they should have predicted. You can't tinker with something as complex as the supply chain and the global economy and our nation's economy without having consequences. So without much thinking, and we haven't even had a reckoning for what has happened, they shut down our entire country, and that caused a lot of problems. So what we need to do is limit government power, get them out of our lives, let the people who understand the supply chain best, which is those people working in it, make market solutions to fix the problem. That's the best solution, not politicians in centralized offices.
General Bolduc, to you next on this.
Well, thank you. So, listen, this is very closely nested to the last question, right? I mean, we got to become energy independent, so we have to reverse energy policies. We got to stop the spending. We got to close our borders. We got to stop spending millions and billions of dollars on an open border and an immigration system that's not working, right? Maggie Hassan sits on the supply chain committee, right? It's broken. It's broken because of special interests, lobbyists, and rich political elite that own Washington, D.C. on both sides of the aisle, but more importantly, own her. And as a result, all decisions are made, hurt Granite Staters and the American people. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is beholden career politicians that manage a system for other people at our expense. And you need someone down there that's going to stop that. And that is me. And Maggie Hassan sits on this committee as well as other committees like the Oversight Committee, right? I mean, these things, what oversight? We don't have any. We need change.
Senator Morse.
We need to cut the taxes. Right? America is just out of control. Joe Biden wants to make our corporate taxes the highest in the world. We need to go in the opposite direction. We did that right here in New Hampshire. We cut taxes. We built a strong economy. That's what we need to do. We need to make ourselves energy independent again. We were there a year and 9 months ago. Let's start drilling. Let's create supply. You know, let's make sure that natural gas can get into our region so that we're not driving up electric rates in this region. I mean, Maggie Hassan's done nothing to make sure we get supply up here in New Hampshire, and we need to go down and fight for that and create a great economy, just like we have here in New Hampshire.